Hey there, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Maria. Happy Monday and happy June. It's so hot outside today. Wherever you are, I hope you're enjoying the weather. And I thought I would address Pride Month and just talk a little bit about what I've always thought about the people I have met in the multiple, plural, more than one D.I.D community and talk about how very often um, people that are having trouble with body issues and their identity end up trying on a lifestyle of being bisexual or or actually going to one gender or another, or just kind of being gender fluid, just not even not identifying, and really apply all these labels: asexual, zensexual, um, trans fluid, non-binary, all these different things. And we do find that, and a lot of times they try on DID before actually realizing they're not accepting their body. And it's very, very prevalent in the multiple and plural DID communities. I can't think of one system group that is all female or all male or um, doesn't have many different relationships, or does not think of themselves sexually as female or male. So what we get a lot of in the DID community is um, an identification of the alter as being different sexes, and then when they're out, um, they enjoy their lifestyle with either a man or a woman. But then again, the let me explain this. Back in the day when it was diagnosed multiple personality, there used to be thought to be an original persona. That one persona was born, and that would be the birth certificate persona and the one on your driver's license and all that, and the one that was out and about doing their thing. That's what multiple personality told us, and that trauma or something in the early development, shattered that and broke it. And so then you had people that fronted alter egos that were out front using the body executively, but they were all different cultures, they were different sexes, and when they were out, they did what they wanted to do. What DID says is there was no original one uh, personality developed during that early childhood. It was fragmented from the beginning. It never came together as one. So therefore, um, a person with DID is disassociated from their earlier ego states that they would have developed with, but they were fragmented. They were like over here, over here, over here, over here. So it just never gelled together. So not one personality developed, but many alter egos. And they're just around the parameter all the time. So that's what DID says. So what you get is a lot of people in the DID community who start off a lot of times with eating disorders, with body dysmorphia, with a lot of dissociative features, self-harming, and eating disorders, where they're trying to make their body look like either female to male or male to female. Nothing looks right. Their nose, their hair, their chin, their breasts, the genitalia, nothing belongs to them. It doesn't seem right. They don't like wearing a bra. They don't like just nothing. Who does? But I mean, like none of the things that are girly girl when a male alters out would they want to be doing, and nothing that unless maybe they were a crossdresser. So in the DID multiple community, it's very, very easy for people that are struggling with their own sexual identity and identifying with their skin and what they were born into to try on multiplicity and DID with alter egos, to try on a lifestyle. And often what we see is people coming out and sharing their out story on Pride Month, out there in June, just saying, okay, I'm this, I'm that. And when they came out, when they realized, and then the multiplicity or the DID just goes away. It's not an issue anymore. Or you still got people that are not willing to say, I refuse to identify with one or the other. I I feel female and I feel male, or I don't identify with male or female, or I am attracted to both men and women. Um, but they blame it on an alter. They say that's because I have 3 or 4 male alters and 2 that are poly this and trans fluid that, whatever. They blame it on an alter. So I thought it would be really, really important since it is Pride month. I saw one gal out here. Got to know her back in 2009, 10, and she had been abused when she was younger, and she never felt comfortable with her body. And she had an eating disorder, and she was self-harming, and she was always very suicidal. And she went to a trauma doctor, and she was really leaning in hard to try to get a diagnosis of DID because her doctor explained to her she was many parts. And I will touch on parts therapy eventually because there is therapy that's called mode therapy and parts therapy that really does entertain this thought of um, taking on roles and positions and meanings that we develop in our family unit as we're growing up. So we're many different modes or many different roles. Um, so I will be talking about that in a family systems approach. But first, I just wanted to say that it's very, very important to acknowledge the people that we do know that began this journey believing that they had an eating disorder and they talked themselves into it, that they were self-harming, they talked themselves into that, and that they had dissociative features where they just could not make peace with the body they were in, and they just weren't comfortable being male or female, and they did stay in this community a long time, um, hopping between alters and alter egos and um, really fighting their own shadow, um, just not comfortable with their body. And it was very, very good to see a gal that I met in 2009, I believe. Yeah, 13 years, 13 years. And most the sweetest gal, just lovely lady, beautiful heart. Um, just was really just abused and a lot of religiosity in her life and dogma and very abused and um, uncomfortable with her body and such a hard worker and uh, went to all the therapy, did everything she was supposed to do, and just kept coming back with I don't feel comfortable in my body and binging and purging and self-harming and all that going on. And then finally accepting that she felt more comfortable being a male. And as she made her journey towards transitioning from female to male, um, and actually marrying her partner and having a life together, the D.I.D, the MPD, the actual multiple alter switching kind of fell away a little bit, and that wasn't the issue. So I think it's really, really important, and I think a lot of therapists really do drop the ball when they run to trauma and it's DID or it's dissociative features without looking at, are you comfortable with your sexuality? How did all that affect your sexuality? And maybe it didn't, but maybe it did. But maybe you're just not comfortable being a male. Maybe you're just not comfortable being a female. There was another gal out here, male, that transitioned to female, and I think we saw her in every community there was. Eating disorder, self-harm, bipolar, borderline, um, schizophrenic. I mean, I think each doctor that she went to gave her a new diagnosis. Asperger's, everything, you name it. She was diagnosed with everything. ADHD, you name it, she had it. And in reality, it was a male who was really a female. After that transition happened, she became peaceful, happy as a female. So I just think that Pride Month, it's really important to say that a lot of people that are really struggling with gender identity and sexuality, and it is seen two separate things. Like people get it confused, but there's gender identity, what you identify with, and then there's sexuality, what you identify with. And I think if the doctors are getting it confused and not even willing to go there, um, unless the client, patient, participant brings it up, you will get pigeonholed into a dissociative, usually a other specified dissociative disorder, what used to be called dissociative features not otherwise specified. So it's really important to, the very best you can, be honest about your feelings of your own sexual identity and how you fit in your body as a female or a male, and what uh, sex you're attracted to more, and feel more like that's where you belong. Um, and if it's both, then it's both. I mean, but to just be able to go there. And we talk about often how much stigma there is in borderline personality and how much stigma there is in hysteria and all the cluster Bs. And then in mood disorders like dissociative features, not otherwise specifies, dissociative disorders, and then DID, how stigmatizing those disorders are. Um, but it is still very, very stigmatized to be transgender or gender fluid or non-binary, or to uh, be one or the other, but not what you were born. So, but many people believe I was born this way. Shout out to Lady Gaga, born this way. But, but there's so much shame and religiosity and from a young child that goes with all that, and a self-loathing and hate of one's own body that would make a person really struggle, really suffer. So, what I wanted to say for Gay Pride Month is it's been my honor and pleasure to know so many people that have whittled their way through 9 million diagnoses and ended up in the multiple plural, more than one. There's healthy multiples, there's more than one multiples, there's plural communities, and there's DID communities. And I mean, everyone identifies within the multiple community different. Like I'm DID and I'm suffering, or I'm multiple and I'm fine, or it's just another part of me. So everyone within this big community identifies differently, and it's just really, really lovely to see that people are willing to say, okay, you know what? That's not my issue. My issue is I'm gay. and 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 I've been cutting my wrists, and I've been taking overdoses, and I've been over drinking, and I've been self-medicating, and I've been putting it on altars, but guess what? I'm just gay. and and really going for the surgery and doing the whole bit, hormone replacement, everything, and then yes, going through some time during the hormone replacement where a lot of people are like not doing well, like, they're kind of all over the place, and you see them flipping back in and out of community. But I think we have to, as the multiple community grows, as um, DID community gets more understanding and awareness, we have to understand there will be people among us that are here that will later say, no, I just had to come to terms with my own sexuality. And it was a safe place to do that. And I'm glad that even though it does confuse the picture a little bit, at times I'm glad that there's a safe community for people to hang out in while they're figuring it out. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you to everyone, and I really would like to hear your comments about Pride Month and if you ever thought you had a dissociative disorder or were diagnosed with dissociative features, or you were ending up in a self-harm group, or body dysmorphia, or any of that that went on, where you thought maybe you had just different personalities, alter egos, aspects, or states, and felt like distinct different personalities, and maybe even were diagnosed with DID or MPD back in the day. If that happened to you, but you really were um, gay or transgender or transfluid, I and I wish you well, and I'm glad you're here. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.